With you coming from the street lifestyle, right? What advice would you give to the younger guys coming up?
How'd I put this now? Let me think.
In the first part of my chat with Headie One, we discussed his rise to fame and remembering our roots. So I think it's time to dig deeper into his story. I'm talking about his rocky journey into music, the BTS that no one sees, and what it takes to make it to the top without crumbling under the weight of success. I'm Stefflon Don, and this is The Rise with Chivas Regal. So what didn't you realize that came with being an artist when you first started? Like, what has surprised you? Like, what has made you feel like, oh, I didn't know it was like this?
What surprised me? Just more problems, really. I thought like when you're an artist, it's like everything gets a bit easier.
Yeah.
But it just comes with,
Comes with more problems.
The better things get, the more headache you get, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, before you was an artist, do you feel like looking at artists, because they seem like they have the money, they have everything going on, you felt like they must have the sickest lifestyle, like the sickest life?
Yeah, literally, yeah. You think everything's just sick, but until obviously you become one, and it's a different story.
This is a debate that I see online a lot, where people would be like, a celebrity could have a problem with something, and everyone's like, if I had this money, I wouldn't have no problems. Yeah. Do you feel like money has solved a lot of your issues or all your issues? Because that's what some people seem to think it does.
I feel like having money has brought me more problems.
How?
To be honest. Because there's most of the problems I have now, I wouldn't have if I didn't have no money.
So do you feel like with the money you have, do you feel like so many people depend on you and so many people just keep asking you for stuff? And
I feel like it's just different kind of expectations. There's people have like a different outlook on things towards you, you know?
Has there been times where you feel like you've helped certain people and then you maybe said you can't do it and then their whole attitude is different? Have you experienced that? Yeah, I've experienced
that before. Because I'm a guy that likes to think, innit? So I put myself also in other people's shoes and I try to have like a full circle understanding on things. So I understand it at the same time, but obviously, it's up to everyone to kind of understand things, you know what I'm trying to say?
Tell me about Headie One's team. Who has the roles that has helped to your success?
I've had a lot of things that have helped towards my success, positive and negative. Obviously, I've got all my people that I grew up with, and also my working team as well. It's almost like when you go to them mad factories and there's like bare little the mini wheels spinning and that.
Tell me the roles. Who's the manager? Who's the tour manager?
I've got 2 managers. I've got obviously my friends that I work with. And I feel like there's like a nice balance between being professional and still real and in tune with what's going on, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I feel like when you get that nice balance and walk that thin line.
So how many people are on your close team?
I'd say probably 5 or 6.
About 5 or 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so you spoke about how going to prison has pushed you more into wanting to do rap.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that?
Obviously when I was in those kind of situations, I had a lot of time to think, and to just listen as well. Remember I said when I first started listening to my music, it didn't really bang. It didn't sound great to my ears anyway. But when I went over there, I had more time to perfect my craft and that.
So how long did you go to prison and how many times have you been?
I think 4 times.
4 times? Yeah. So you learned the first or second or third?
I learned, but sometimes things happen that's out of your control.
Okay, so you said you had time to reflect.
A lot of time to reflect.
After 4 times, you definitely have time to reflect.
Yeah, I went into those kind of negative situations and just started thinking really about how I can do things a bit better. I feel like it worked out kind of decent.
Is there any bars you've written in jail and you came out and put it on a track?
Yeah, I wrote a lot of my early lyrics was written in those kind of situations. I wrote actual albums in there before I even was a musician.
Is there any songs that that people might know that you actually writ in jail?
More recently, I've done my song with Mahalia. It's called You and Me. I've done the intro to my last album.
You wrote that in jail as well?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay, guys, so make sure you guys check that out. What was your last album called?
My last album's called Edna.
Edna?
Yeah.
Who's Edna?
That's my mum's maiden name.
That's your mum's maiden
name, yeah.
That's what I thought. And what made you want to call it your mum's maiden name?
I felt like as my first album, so I wanted it to, have some sort of meaning to it. And I want to tell that story, if you know what I'm trying to say.
So I heard you don't like to be called a role model because of some of the decisions you've made.
Yeah.
But how do you think some of your decisions has shaped you for the person you are now?
I think I made like loads of like terrible decisions and that, but I feel like it gave me like a lot of intelligence, you know what I'm trying to say? Definitely.
So would you coming from the street lifestyle, right? So you went jail several times and said, you know what, I want to do better, I want to make better decisions. What advice would you give to the younger guys coming up that have a chance to do something else? Like, what would you tell them about street lifestyle and gang culture?
One thing I'll tell them is, so it's steady till it's not steady no more. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know anyone that I speak to that says, they want to do the stuff that they're doing, you know? Most of them are desperately trying to like, find their way out of stuff, but obviously for some it's a bit too late. You know what I'm saying?
But do you feel like, because I remember growing up, right, and I remember the guys who would always preach like, this lifestyle is not the lifestyle. Now that you're older, do you feel like if you said that to a younger person, they might be like, oh, you're just old now, that's why, like, you're not in our shoes, like.
They probably would feel like that, but I feel like now in the society that we're in today, the kids are learning much younger that it's all good until it's not good, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I know some people that are very young that have made mistakes that's, like, I'm pretty sure that they regret every day, you know?
And I feel like also with the help of Instagram, I feel like you could see more of what's going on in life, whereas I feel like back in the day, you're just stuck somewhere and you think this is all it is. So I feel like you feel like there's nothing more to life. So many younger people are also getting to it. Like, they're doing very good with themselves, like making a lot of money, like yourself doing good in music. And I feel like you are a role model, even though you made mistakes. Role models make mistakes. Who's perfect? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So you made history when you charted with 1800. This was like a big moment for UK drill. How did you feel when you hear about the chart position you held?
I didn't really feel nothing, you know, because I didn't really know what that really meant, to be honest. Like, I didn't know like the charts was even a thing when that was happening. I released a project before that. Obviously, you know, like with all the labels and stuff, they're getting excited. They said it landed in the top 40, and I was just doing a show in Cyprus, and I didn't even know if that was like
you didn't know what those numbers meant. You just I'm just doing music.
Literally, but they like called me into the office and that and had champagne and all that. I was thinking, fucking hell, they're taking this serious, isn't it?
So do you feel like with your busy schedule and everything you're doing, do you feel like you've ever had a chance to sit and reflect of all the accomplishments and how far you come, or do you feel like you're not even there yet, you're not reflecting, or have you had a chance?
I don't feel like I reflect enough really now.
What about in lockdown? Like, that's when our quiet period was. Did you ever look and say, you know what?
In lockdown, I didn't really have a quiet period, you know, because I spent a lot of that time like just working on my album.
Okay.
I just got released from one of those negative situations.
A label situation?
No, like a...
Oh, prison?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I came out, I felt like I was a bit behind with my music, so I just like put my head like in the sun and was just working on my album over COVID. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So the first time you went to the studio to now, what advice would you give your 14-year-old self?
I wouldn't give no advice, really.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
no advice. All right, so what if you had a 14-year-old son? What would your advice to him be?
There's something that my dad told me one time. He's told me a lot of stuff, but this one kind of stuck out to me. The rest I didn't really listen, to be honest. But he told me, whatever you're trying to do, just make sure you're the best at it.
Make sure you're the best at it. That's good advice. I like that. Can we give it up for that? I say the same thing all the time. All right, has the crowd got any questions?
Hi, Dee. So if you had 40 extra hours in your working week and you can choose to pick up a new hobby, what would it be?
I wouldn't pick nothing, you know. I just use the time off to like just chill and just like refresh and unwind and just do nothing. I like being at home quite a lot.
You're a homebody.
Yeah.
Next question.
Now that you've achieved such international success, do you find it hard to maintain friendships in your personal life?
It's like quite hard, obviously, when you have a busy schedule, but I don't really find it hard. I just think it takes understanding. And like I said before, just like being true to yourself and remembering, innit? Because, you know, loads of things moving around, it's easy to get like distracted and carried away. But I'm not really good at making new friends and that. So I got like my same old friends.
So let's cheers to more life, more music, more money, more happiness and health. And I want to thank you so much for coming on our show. Everybody make some noise for Headie One!